The end of the season ride has become something of a tradition now. We've done it 3 times in a row, and this year it's going to be very special. A tour that has never been attempted before like that. And if you're interested in the tour and maybe even interested in joining that tour, stay tuned. Now, starting in 2026, Jeff and I started offering rental motorcycles and tours from Málaga, so southern part of Spain, to offer tours in Andalusia and Portugal. For that, we had to take the fleet from Munich down to Spain, and last time that was just on the trailer. So last summer, we kind of toyed with the idea, how about we make a tour out of it, just taking motorcycles from Munich to Malaga and just ride them down there, at least part of them. So that was just a wild idea, but then early in January, we got into the planning phase of it, and now there's a tour that came out of it. So the long way south from Munich to Malaga, it's going to take 15 days to take the motorcycle, not in a straight line, but through some of the most exciting parts of Europe that you can ride in. And by the end of it, we'll be somewhere at the 3rd week of October, landing in Malaga. There will be a support vehicle, not for the entire duration of the tour, but for people joining us in Munich, we'll bring the luggage and put them in the van, and the van's going to go straight to Malaga. So by the time we get to Malaga, we'll have our luggage, and then we can, fly out of Malaga or wherever you need to go. So this tour is special because it is kind of late in the season, so you have to be a little crazy to leave in, through parts of the Alps, because the first part of the tour will be through the Alps. So we'll be going through the Swiss and French Alps. We'll be covering some of the highest mountain passes that are normally not recommended to attempt in October, but we did that already a couple of years ago. So we figured if we're lucky, we get some of the best mountain passes when basically no one is there, and if that doesn't work out, we just pivot and do something different. So the tour is going to be definitely an adventure to get started, but as we make our way south, the weather's going to get a lot better. So in October, by the time we hit southern Spain, the weather's going to be beautiful, and somewhere in between, I'm sure we'll have a few adventures and challenges where we have to sort of reroute and just work with the weather. So the main points of the tour are the Swiss and French Alps, some of the highest passes. So the Col de l'Iseran, for example, in France, is usually still open when you're lucky in October, so we'll try to cover that. And then we'll move over to parts of the tour that I did last year with the Grand Tour French Alps, which is the balcony roads. There's a cluster of balcony roads that most riders in Europe even miss. So we cover this entire region as we make our way south to the Cévennes, which is also a beautiful sort of mid-mountain range. Again, a place that most European riders never get to see. So we go through that. And I almost forgot, we do the Ladèche Canyon as well. Ladèche Canyon is a bit outside of the beaten path. Most riders don't get to see it, so we'll cover that first, go to the Cévennes, make our way all the way down to Andorra, which is at the sort of foothills of the Pyrenees mountains. And once we're there, we'll make our way up north, and we'll be switching the borders, or the sides between Spain and France, as we go all the way up to the northern tip of Spain. So somewhere between San Sebastian and Bilbao, we'll start to make our way south again to the Rioja wine region. Now, that region is quite famous for its wine. It's probably the most famous region for wine in Spain. We'll spend half a day in one of the best bodegas that are out there. So we have half a day of a bit of a rest day, so the afternoon to try some wine. And then we make our way south again and hit the Sierras north of Madrid. Now, that's an area that I discovered a few years ago on a business trip. I took all my gear and took 2 extra days to explore the Sierras around Madrid. Again, an area that most riders outside of Spain never get to see. So we'll have a day and a half to cover that. And then we slowly make our way down to Malaga and cover some of these sort of nature parks that are on the way. And then on day 15, we'll arrive in Malaga. So the special thing this year is usually the end of season tour is pretty close group of friends and collaborators that we invite to sort of celebrate the season and just kind of say thank you and just have some time to ride together, because most of us working in this area, we don't really get to ride in the season, so we have to kind of push it back a little bit towards the end of the season. But this year we wanted to open it up to a handful of riders that are crazy enough to ride in October and join us on this trip. So I'll leave a link in the description down there to kind of show you how you can sign up and read a little bit about it if you're interested. I just thought I'd get this out of the way here before I go on to my next tour. If you're interested, just shoot me an email, write me a message, give me a call if you're more interested in that tour. But the description is on the website, and maybe I'll see you there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, ride safe, stay awesome.